Well, I certainly got a sinking feeling on this one. So, of course, welcome back. And, of course, today I'm, of course, reviewing Resident Evil Revelations. Now, this was supposed to be a Call of Duty Modern Warfare review, but, of course, that's running a bit late, and unfortunately, I had to delay it. So, my apologies for that one. So, of course, Resident Evil Revelations was originally a 3DS exclusive before being ported over to the consoles. Now, this is already kind of an issue to begin with because the 3DS itself isn't exactly the most powerful console. While it's a console I do like and have collected for, it's not a console I really would port a game like Resident Evil on. Maybe Capcom saw something different with that. So, of course, well, we got Revelations. I played the PS4 version. Yeah, the game got ported over to the 8th generation of consoles, and this is actually the first game of 2025 I played. The question is it good though? For the most part, yeah, but it's probably the weakest Resident Evil game I've played, and I'll get into that later on in the video. So, of course, there's a story recap. So, this one, of course, this is set in 2005, and at that point in the series, we've already had the Arklay Mountains incident, the Spencer Mansion incident, and of course the Raccoon City outbreak, and of course Leon's rescue mission in Spain. And so it's time for another, event to happen in Resident Evil. That of course focuses on the T Phobos virus, which is the main virus in this game. And well, it's something that the characters are going to have to deal with, and of course, there's some new monsters introduced. Overall, the story itself is kind of, it's okay. It's not the best that Resident Evil has done, but it's certainly really not the worst story out there. In the best way, I would say this is kind of unneeded, simply due to the fact that it just isn't really it's not really much of a necessary story. I think the big issues with this one are, of course, just the fact that it doesn't really affect the rest of the series. So, who are our characters? Well, the characters that really matter are, of course, Chris and Jill. They do make a return in this one, and we get some side characters that work alongside them. Overall, the new characters added aren't really all that interesting and aren't much of a standout. There is a standout with this game though, as it does reintroduce the hunters into the series who were last seen in Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil 1. I don't remember if 0 had hunters. I don't think so. Yeah, okay, that's beside the point. So, of course, well, I guess, how's the gameplay? The gameplay itself is pretty decent. You can't really carry that much weapons. And again, ammo is limited as always, but it does make for a bit of a more unique experience with this one. And then, of course, we have, the level design and final boss. The final boss is pretty fun, along with the level design. I really did like it in this game, and despite the game's flaws, it is still a really fun game, and one I actually want to achievement on the Xbox. I will generally say that Revelations 2 is by far the better game, and generally feels like it should have been in the main series. Of course, that one I will, of course, cover after I do Resident Evil 6. But all in all, Revelations isn't a bad title, but it's pretty flawed and a bit unnecessary like Resident Evil 0. All it really does is just kind of provide some additional story that isn't really needed. While it's fun to play, it is limited by having been on a underpowered console. While the remaster itself is fairly decent compared to other games in the series and other horror games I've played, Revelations itself is kind of okay to pretty decent at best. So that's all I really have to say about this one. So until then, thank you all for watching and have a wonderful night.